Dementia residents often say, we don't need a memory to live here, but they do need direction orientation to be able to find their bedroom and bathroom. And the problem being that many of these people coming into dementia facilities are in there because of a loss of direction orientation and losing their way out on the street somewhere. So within the unit, to have the direction orientation to be able to find their room really is a big mission for them. And that's why it's important for them to have the prescription glasses, as I've said in the previous video, and also that their door is clearly named with their name and room number. And practice goes a long way to help direction orientation, practice to and from the lounge in their room so that they can get orientated and familiar with the pathways in the dementia unit, the common pathways that they have to follow to be able to get to the bathroom, to the toilet, which is the main one, and then to be able to get to the lounge for meals, which is the next big achievement that needs to be, resulted in. Now, with people that come into a dementia facility, initially, it's a lot more difficult then, of course, for new dementia residents to be orientated. I mean, coming into a dementia facility is so incredibly disorientating. Everything is unfamiliar. The long corridors, the residents, the staff, the medication trolleys, just everything's often white. The whole atmosphere is completely and utterly different to your own home. And so, especially if you're in your late 80s and you've lived it in a home all your life, and then you're coming into a place that looks like a sterile hospital, and you have to adjust and orientate to that, with memory loss and dementia into the bargain, you can imagine how utterly difficult that is. But still, the reality is that the person is living there, so we have to support them as best as we can for them to be able to manage and orientate themselves to the environment. Now, orientation goes along, is really important, and relatives can help a lot with this. One of the best things really is, especially when a dementia resident first comes to a dementia facility, is to sit down with them in the lounge or in the kitchen where everything, all the goings on happen in that area. All the bedrooms are up the long corridor, but the main happenings happen in the dining room, kitchen and lounge where the TV is. And generally the nurse's station is in that hub as well. So sit there with your mother, say, and just go through all of what you need to orientate. Just sit and observe. It's good for you actually as the relative as well as the resident, because there's a lot for the relative to absorb as well. So you may as well sit there and absorb and learn yourself, as well as helping and teaching, training in a sense your mother in the orientation, recalibration aspects of being in the unit. So you can just sit with her, at a nice comfortable seat, but that is facing the lounge, where you can see all the staff and residents, hopefully maybe with a cup of tea. Actually, it's probably good to sit in the kitchen lounge, because that's where you get the biggest, widest scope of view. Often the nurse's station is near the entrance, then you've got the lounge with the TV, and then the kitchen and the dining areas in the centre where there's tables. If you sit there, then you can see the whole panorama and enable your mother to get orientated to that. So, starting maybe with the nurses and explaining, hopefully they've got a different sort of uniform. It can actually be really difficult, because sometimes all the staff wear the same uniform, and then for the resident to try and work out who's who, who's the nurse, who's the carer, who's the laundry girl. I mean, they'll know the laundry girl because she's got the big vacuum cleaner, and the laundry, they're the cleaning girls with the big vacuum cleaner, and the laundry girls with the big trolley with all the clothes. But it's very hard to tell the difference between the carers and the nurses. But still, you just have to do your best and explain as best as you can the different people and the different jobs they're doing. And then the main thing actually is for your mother to get to know her main carer. hopefully she has a main carer. In New Zealand we do, and for 5 days a week. So if you can introduce your mother to her main carer, that will help a lot with orientation, and explain to her, look, you know, at 9 o'clock every morning, Mum, you're having a shower with your main carer, who is, say, Anna. And when Anna comes when you see Anna walking around, then explain to your mother, now that's Anna, and orientate her to seeing Anna in different contexts, at the nurse's station, in her room, in the kitchen, by the television. Just point out her main carer, and that way she'll have a chance of recognizing her main carer, so that when the carer comes in the morning to give her her shower, she's orientated to the fact that she's having a shower and that this is her carer and she knows her. So it's not such a shock, and she's less likely to get, you know, stressed and upset about it. So that's one aspect of orientation, and a very important one, because showers are a very stressful exercise in dementia units for many residents, and they don't like it. But if at least they know that they're orientated to the fact that this is the main carer coming at 9 o'clock for the shower, and also on the whiteboard in your mother's room, put up on the whiteboard 9 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, shower time, or, you know, or whether it's daily, whichever days it is, say it is Monday, Wednesday, Friday showers, so that your mother knows that she recognizes and can read at least that that's coming up. So orientating to the unit, orientating to the main carer, and orientating to the corridor, the whole loop of the corridor. Often it's a big circular corridor. Take your mother around the whole corridor and orientate to each room, and read the names on each room as she goes around. Get her to read those names, because then she'll become orientated to the fact that indeed many people are indeed living in this place. Maybe she may not know that it's 30, but it's a lot of people, and she's living in the same place as these people. And if she can get to know the ladies, her next door neighbours, the names of the ladies or men to the right and left of her, you can introduce her to the names on the door, and then introduce her to the residents that live there, so she can get orientated to who she's living with. Going for a walk around the whole complex inside the dementia unit is very good for orientation. It's company, it's solace, it's, you know, make it interesting too. Try and make it interesting. Well, it is interesting actually, because it is interesting. Dementia units are interesting places. There's always something going on. So just talk to your mother about all the things, you know, if there's a fight, well, just say, look, some of the ladies here get really stressed and, you know, and upset. Maybe they haven't got visitors, and we need to try and respect and accept these women. And we might, you know, these lonely women, we might ask them to a cup of tea next time I'm in, Mum. You know, and they can have a muffin and a cup of tea with us. It might help them settle down. So just include the whole realm, the whole community in with your communication with your mother, and that will help her orientate to the fact that she's in this community. You're with her there, you're there for support in this community, and this is a great way of orientating to the corridor, to the room, to the kitchen, the unit, the TV area, the lot. Everything has to be orientated to, just like in any community. You need to know where your supermarket is and your shop and this and that. So just look at the dementia unit as a community that your mother needs to be orientated to all parts of. And you taking her on a little guided tour of the community will help a lot in terms of companionship, solace and learning, so that you can actually learn and orientate to the whereabouts and the goings on in the unit. So I've written these 2 books, The Resident's Rise and The Resident's Voice, both from a dementia unit, and you can get those on Amazon or my website below. And thank you so much for your surge and support on TikTok especially. I really appreciate the support and the platform being able to get up and running as a result of that. Really heartfelt thanks.